Hi.
It's good.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Marty Walsh.
Hi, I'm Becca Peasy.
Hi, I'm James Devil.
And this is my golden hour.
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 Whoa.
Welcome back to another episode of GDP, the Director's Cut. Today, we are fortunate enough to be joined by the lovely and talented Mr. Drew Dunn. Drew,
hey.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Drew, you have been a guest on the podcast before, not in this iteration, of course, but
yes, a couple times. I had my golden hour and my platinum hour. Yeah, I've known Conor for a couple of years now, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good place to start. Where did you first meet Conor?
I was actually doing a show on a Monday night in a basement of an Italian restaurant in South Boston, believe it or not. And I just did like a short set, and Conor happened to be out watching the show. And then, he liked my set, and then he told me he was planning on making some sketches and then eventually a movie. He just had a lot of big plans and stuff. So I ended up sitting down doing the podcast with him, I think like a couple weeks after that. And then we've just kind of stayed in touch and worked on a bunch of projects together since then. So, yeah.
What other types of projects have you done with Conor?
We did a couple things with like a few social media influencers around Boston where we did like a sketch at a bowling alley. We did a few sketches like that, like around Boston. And then we actually did one over the summer, just after the GDP movie. Conor was like, they had just wrapped the movie and he's like, I gotta keep making something, So we ended up shooting a commercial parody that I had written for fast food breakfast, basically. So we just kind of made fun of breakfast fast food and it puts you to sleep, essentially, was kind of the premise of the sketch. So that's out there, and we ended up actually winning a couple of awards for that.
That's right.
Sketch.
Istanbul Film Festival Award. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very obscure film festival to be submitted to for a sketch about fast food, but either way, Conor's a go-getter and he got it in there. And so that was a nice surprise.
Absolutely. Yeah. And have you done a lot of sketch work in the past?
Not a lot of like random one-off stuff. And I write a lot of sketches, but they don't always necessarily get made. I end up just kind of doing the simplified version of them on like Instagram or whatever comes out. So it was nice to kind of take the reins on like of more of an official production for something that I had written. So yeah, it was really fun.
And what was the writing process like for the fast food breakfast commercial for you?
So for me, I had actually written that sketch originally for a Saturday Night Live audition that I had last year over COVID. So I had the opportunity to like send off a character reel and a packet of sketches to that. And I made it through a few rounds of approval with SNL, but I didn't end up obviously getting it. So I was like, man, I have all these sketches. I really like them. So yeah, the process was kind of like, it started off almost as like a stand-up joke idea. And then I was like, I think I can turn this into a sketch. And then once it was a sketch, I was like, all right, well, let's simplify this and turn it into like a sketch that doesn't need to be like on a stage in front of a live audience. So it was a lot of kind of like little edits and adaptations to make it fun to make in real life.
And what was auditioning with SNL like for you?
It was, I mean, it's a dream come true for me to just be able to be considered by that. Cause that's something I've always wanted to do ever since I was a kid, was to like, I mean, I even auditioned for like All That back in the day when they had like the funniest kid in America on Nickelodeon. I sent in a tape to that when I was like 11. So to be able to like be considered for that was amazing. And I have another audition this year. I just found out a couple days ago. So I'm going to start getting to work on that, writing some more sketches. And if they don't like them, maybe me and Conor can make them again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you a big SNL fan?
I used to be when I was younger. I don't watch it as much now. Like I'll watch like little clips here and there that as they come up. But I've just always loved that style of comedy, that you can just kind of, I liked it, back, a few years back when they were able to kind of take on some more fun topics rather than, for a while there, especially when Trump was in office, everything became so serious that it just wasn't as appealing to me, where I would much rather just kind of be fun loving, do more character based stuff and just talk about what's happening in the world rather than what's happening in one little microcosm of politics all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I watch a lot of SNL. I watch pretty much every week. And I think it's interesting that post-Trump now, it's been much less focused on obviously politics and world and developing, like you said, characters and sketch work and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's where the real fun comes, and that's what a lot of people will watch for the political stuff, but it doesn't have to all be that stuff. You know, you can have the balance of making fun of what's going on in the press, but let's also make fun of, you know, Elon Musk and all of these other characters that have developed in American, you know, kind of the political zeitgeist, if you will.
Yeah. And I know you also do stand-up comedy work. What has that been like for you? Yeah,
so that's been my full-time job for about the last 4 years. I've been doing it in total for about 7.5 years or so. And obviously the last year and a half has been pretty rough, but things have been starting to pick up, especially since the new year, now that people are getting vaccinated and states are opening back up. So I actually recorded my first album in Arizona last month. So that's still in the editing process. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming my way. Hopefully soon I should have a first cut of it and figure out what it's all sounding like. But the shows went great out there. I actually just got back from Minnesota yesterday. I was out on the road doing shows out there at the Mall of America, which was, it's nice. It's nice to be able to eat a Cinnabon and then go do jokes. You know, it's a real experience. But I mean, as far as stand-up comedy overall, it's really the one thing that like I just love to do and that I'll always do no matter what. So like, and it's also one of those things that like I never thought could get taken away from me. So having COVID come in and make every comedian have to kind of stop in their place was not ideal. So now that we're all kind of getting back on the horse and figuring it out, it's exciting.
Yeah, you think you took it for granted before a little bit? Yeah,
a little bit. It's definitely one of the, because like, you know, I played sports my whole life and you can play sports until somebody tells you that you're cut from the team, you know, and then you're like, okay, well, I guess I have to stop playing the game now. But there was never anything like that for comedy. There was always open mics or something that you could do at any level that you were performing at. So to have all those things go away was definitely something that I think a lot of comedians never thought would happen. So yeah, I definitely don't take even the worst of shows now for granted. I'm just happy to be there.
So how did your tour go? What were your stops like? How long were you on tour for?
Well, it wasn't exactly a tour. It was supposed to be a tour. I had planned basically from like April through June or July, like early July of 2020. And I was supposed to go, like, I was going to be in Canada for a month. I was going to be in Seattle and LA and Texas and Chicago, and then Colorado, and then go down to Florida for a bit and then come back home. So little pieces of that started to come back over the summertime of last year so I basically, instead of doing like a tour where I was out on the road for a long time, I ended up basically going out for a weekend, doing shows, coming back, doing what I could locally, whether it was, you know, campgrounds or movie theater shows and stuff like that. And then coming, going back out for a week to go to Colorado and then come back. So, yeah, not as much of a tour as much as it was just kind of trying to stay busy and piece together what I had. But I'm hoping some of those other things come back. Like I was supposed to perform at Boston Calling in 2020 with like, you know, the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Rage Against the Machine and stuff. So just to be kind of in that environment, I'm hoping now that, you know, vaccinations are back and the states are opening back up things to 100% capacity, that we'll be able to start to do those kind of bigger events like festivals and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you went out to Arizona and the West Coast. Was that the furthest you've ever been to perform your material? Yeah,
I think like geographically, yeah. I mean, I've gone to like the Pacific Northwest a few times, but yeah, pretty much that's pretty much across the country. I've never gone internationally except like the one time I was on my honeymoon when I was like 2 years into comedy. We went to a Sandals resort and they did a talent show night, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go do stand up. And I was the only person on the entire resort that signed up to do the talent show, because apparently they just hire a bunch of workers to do like, you know, dance routines and singing and stuff like that. So it was a bunch of, you know, Jamaican people on the show, and then just me showing up to do my 5 minutes of comedy in like this outdoor amphitheater. So that was probably actually the furthest away from home that I was to do stand up. But that was, you know, more of a one-off rather than a touring thing, but still a fun experience. Cause then for the rest of the time we were there, people will be coming up to me. It was like the closest I've ever gotten to like feeling famous, where I'm like at a restaurant with my wife, like, you were really funny at the show. I think you know, that was really great. And I'm trying to eat, you know? So yeah, it was funny.
People don't respect stars like you.
I know, especially on a Sandals resort. What are you gonna do? I'm the biggest comedian in Jamaica, I guess. At least for 8 minutes I was.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of stardom, do you want to talk a little bit about your involvement with the movie and how you got on board?
Yeah. So again, that was one of those things where Conor had always talked about wanting to do a movie when we had first met. So he was always very driven to kind of make that happen. So he wanted to kind of use this podcast that he had created and all these great people that he had met and try and put them all into one movie in Boston. So when he called me that he was finally able to, that he had the script ready and he was able to move forward, I was really excited because I didn't know what he had planned for me, what character he wanted me to play or any of that stuff. So when I got there and saw what his plans were, I was like, okay, this is over the top and really fun. So I shot with him for a few weeks over the summer, and it was just a blast. It was just really light as far as like we were just there to have fun and make some, just make a good movie.
And was this your first acting role in this capacity, or have you done anything like this in the past?
I'd done a few independent films in the past. This was definitely the first time I got to play a character like Xander, which was exciting. Usually it's a lot more of a toned down version of something like that. But I really like what Conor did, where he kind of took everything and just kind of ramped it up a notch and kind of let the craziness come out a little bit, if you will.
Mm-hmm. And so it is a zombie apocalypse movie.
Yeah.
Do you think you learned anything about yourself and the pandemic, or how you would respond to danger through doing this movie?
Yeah, I think I don't think I would be anything like my character. I'll say that. My character goes a little crazy, let's just say. I think there would be pieces of that in me, but for the most part, I would probably just try and lay low. And I actually do jokes about this on stage, where if there really was that level in apocalypse, like my plan is to not make it. Like I don't want to live in a post-apocalyptic world. It seems fun when you're watching it in a movie or on a show, but in real life, it's going to be pretty rough. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to thrive when I have to search for fresh water. I'd rather be taken out in the opening credits,
So that's actually our question that we've been asking our director's cut guests this whole season is, if there was a zombie apocalypse in Boston, much like the movie, where would you go to survive? But I guess you wouldn't go anywhere. No,
I would sit. I mean, I'm in New Hampshire right now. I'd probably sit tight in New Hampshire until the horde came my way. And then I would just, see what would happen. I'd fight as hard as I could. But for the most part, yeah, I don't know. I'm not the rebuilding humanity kind of guy. I'm barely having fun now. So.
Oh, that's admirable pacifism. Just let them do what they want to do.
Yeah. If they want to come in my house, sure, come on in. If not, if they walk right by, then I'll just, eat granola bars until I don't have any more, basically.
Do you and Conor have any plans to do any more shorts or any other work together in the future?
Yeah, we don't have anything ironed out yet, but me and him are always kind of talking about what the next idea is. I've been obviously really busy over the last few months since I've been touring again and trying to get back on the road and get ready for the SNL audition and stuff like that. So now that, I'll have a little bit more time on my hands, I'm hoping over the summer, and especially with less restrictions with COVID and stuff, that we can get something ironed out and planned to work on.
Is there anything else you want to plug or preview that's coming up that's exciting for you?
Like my album's a real big thing that's coming out. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I don't know what the title's going to be yet. I think it's going to be Voices in My Head. So that'll hopefully be on Spotify and iTunes and all that kind of stuff in the next few months. And then I always post little heckler clips and stuff like that on my social media. So definitely follow me on there at Drew Dunn Comedy if you want. And then if not, just the only other thing to look forward to is the big GDP movie coming out. Make sure you go see that. Hopefully it'll be in the theater near you soon. That's
right. I was going to ask, are you excited for the GDP movie? Do you have any expectations? Are you afraid to see yourself on screen?
No, I've seen myself on screen before. So I like disassociate seeing myself, because I do so much editing of watching myself do stand-up and stuff that I kind of like disassociate myself and the person that I'm watching on the screen. But I'm just excited to see how all of these different scenes come together into the movie. So I haven't seen the final product yet, or even a cut of it. So I really want to see it for the first time at the premiere and see how it comes out. So I'm definitely excited for that.
That is super exciting. Well, Drew, you've done our ending bit before. So Conor asked me to try to switch it up a little bit with us. Okay. So I don't know if you remember exactly how to do it, but it's a 2-statement sentence. It's Hi, my name is Drew Dunn, and this is my golden hour. Okay. And then my name is Drew Dunn, and that was my golden hour. Okay. Switch it up a little bit. Do you want to do a fun accent or impression for us while you give us a little?
Yeah, I could do that. Cool. Yeah, maybe we can take it down under. Hi, my name's Drew Dunn, and this is my golden hour. Hi, my name's Drew Dunn, and that was my golden hour. Cheers, mates.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Drew.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Lexi. Thanks for doing it.
Hi.
It's good.
Hi. Hey. Hi, my name is Marty Walsh.
Hi, I'm Becca Peasy.
Hi, I'm James Devlin.
And this is my golden hour.
And this is my golden hour.
And this is my golden hour.
And this is my golden hour.